Autoline Daily is brought to you by Bridgestone, passion for excellence.
Here are today's top headlines. Ford stuns Wall Street. Daimler makes money, but Mazda does not. And Bill Nye, the science guy, takes us for a drive in his Mini E. Up next, we'll be back with the news behind the headlines. This is Autoline Daily for Tuesday, April 27, 2010, and now the news. Lots of interesting first quarter numbers to look at, but let's start with Ford because they're the most interesting of all. Stunning, really. Ford blew through the analyst estimates. They thought the company would earn 31 cents a share. Instead, it earned 50 cents. They thought Ford would make about $1 billion profit. Instead, Ford earned a net profit of $2.1 billion. $1.2 billion of that came from its automotive operations. $815 million came from its financial services, and it earned money in every geographic region of the world where it operates, including Europe. These results are a direct result of the way the company's being run, not from selling off Volvo. So far, Ford has only booked $188 million for selling Volvo, and while it no longer includes Volvo in its financial reports, it says Volvo would have only contributed about $49 million in pre-tax profits. Chump change. Meanwhile, in Europe, Daimler also showed solid improvement. Revenues increased by 13%, which helped the company post a net profit of $813 million, and they also managed to generate about $2.5 billion in positive cash flow for the quarter. But over in Japan, where companies are now reporting earnings for their fiscal year that ends in March, Mazda is reporting that its total sales hit $22 billion, and it managed to post an operating profit of roughly $100 million, but on a net profit basis, Mazda lost $70 million for the year. Honda announced that it will allow its dealers in Oklahoma in the U.S. to sell natural gas-powered Civic GXs. It's only the fourth state to be allowed to sell it on a retail basis. California, Utah, and New York are the others. Honda was already selling the vehicle on a fleet basis, but the company decided to expand its retail sales in Oklahoma because it has a strong CNG infrastructure, and it's the second largest natural gas producing state in America. Even so, nationwide, Honda only sells about 1,000 GXs a year. Just because General Motors no longer sells minivans in the U.S. doesn't mean the company has given up on them elsewhere in the world. According to Ward's, SAIC GM Wuling Automobile just unveiled a new compact business passenger van at the Beijing Auto Show. The Wuling Hongguang, as it's called, features a rounded, streamlined body and a roomy interior with 3 rows of seats. But if you think this vehicle focuses solely on passenger comfort, you'd be mistaken. The company didn't forget about drivers. It's powered by either a 1.2 or 1.4-liter engine, and the chassis was refined by Lotus Engineering in the UK. Look for the Hongguang, catchy name, to hit Chinese dealerships sometime next month. Hey, what is this? We spotted what we think is some sort of Chinese utility truck on the road near our office. My co-pilot during the drive was able to snap a few pictures of this boxy rig as we cruised alongside it. It's hard to tell in the photos, but the front end was camouflaged with black tape covering the logo and other branding, but it definitely looks like something Chinese. Even more interesting, if you look under the bed, you can see what looks like a battery with the GS Yuasa logo on the side. Shoot us an email if you have any idea what this thing is and why it's cruising around the streets of Detroit. Coming up next, we go for a ride in a Mini E with Bill Nye, the science guy.
Introducing Bridgestone's third generation of run-flat tires with groundbreaking new Bridgestone technologies. Bridgestone run-flat tires offer improved ride comfort, lower rolling resistance, and improved wear while giving you the peace of mind and comfort you need.
Yesterday, Autoline's Chip Drake introduced us to Bill Nye, the science guy, and we discovered his dedication to electric vehicles. In today's part 2, Chip gets Bill to give us a first-hand feel from behind the wheel of BMW's limited production electric Mini E.
This Mini E goes if you're driving it in a civilized fashion, it goes 100 miles. But if you're driving it in a fun fashion, it goes somewhat less than that. But it's a great car. I mean, I take it everywhere.
Bill Nye certainly walks the talk when it comes to his Mini E. So he invited Autoline Daily to ride along as he put the car through its paces, starting from his San Fernando Valley home up to LA's historic Mulholland Drive.
This BMW electric Mini is a fantastic car. It's not perfect, it has limitations. The first limitation is using the Mini unibody to build a car around. But it's a great car. It's fun to drive.
The car may be fun, but if Bill had his way, he would change 3 things about the current and perhaps last generation Mini E. First, increase the interior space. Next, provide some sort of cover for the cargo area. And finally, he desperately would love to have some cruise control.
This is the fuel gauge in the combustion version of this vehicle. But in here, it's the regeneration power use meter. So when it's going counterclockwise, that's when you're putting energy in the battery. When it's going clockwise, you're using energy. You see how frequently it goes up and down on a road like this. But not all the way down this hill, we're regenerating. And you can see the state of charge meter, which is where the tachometer would be in the combustion version. The state of charge meter goes back up as you go down this long hill. This is fun. And when you're an electric vehicle driver, and it doesn't take long at all, you're very sensitive to that. You remember Pasadena is up the hill from Studio City. You have to go over the hill to get to Hollywood or Beverly Hills or Century City, where you might have a business meeting. You go up the hill, then back down, and you watch the state of charge meter come and go. It's nothing but fun, people. It's nothing but fun.
Now, Bill may sound a bit sarcastic there, but clearly he is passionate about changing the way America and the world drives.
We in the electric vehicle community really want people in the U.S. automotive industry to appreciate how much electric vehicle drivers like their cars. We have fun, and so we like driving them, and we want you to make them successful so that we can all have a better tomorrow. Is that so wrong?
Well, Bill Nye and his fellow pioneers clearly love their Mini E's, since so many of them have recently signed on to lease the car for another year. But BMW says it may be the last time, since it's going to bring its electric 1 Series, the Active E, online sometime in 2011. By the way, the 450 Mini E pioneers will be invited to transition into the Active E if they'd like to stay with BMW's electric program. And that is it for today's top news in the global automotive industry. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.